So about a month ago, I asked you guys to send me your Ben 10 Omniverse related hot takes. And yes, it's taking me a month to get to it. I know we don't have to speak about it. Do not write that comment. Do not delete that shit right now. So today I figured we'd go through those hot takes and see if they're really a hot take, and see how good the take is or how bad the take is. So that's what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna rate your guys' Ben 10 Omniverse hot takes. And if you ever want to be a part of one of these videos, these hot take videos, I do them semi-often. Be sure to follow me on Twitter, follow the Ben 10 community tab that I run, and just be sure to subscribe to the channel so you can look at the community posts, because this is like the first time I held one of these where I asked the community tab, and that's like really where a lot of responses came from. So shout out to the YouTube audience. Let's get to these hot takes. Let's rank these hot takes and see for one if they're really hot. Most of them aren't, but without further ado, let's get to it. Our first hot take comes from Daily Tennyson, which shout out to Daily Tennyson. Daily Ben 10, one of my mods over in the Ben 10 community tab. They say, as much as I love OV, a lot of the episodes aren't rewatchable. And this is a take that I've low-key gone like back and forth on, because on the one hand, you have a lot of Omniverse episodes that are rewatchable, but those are like more like the heavier episodes and arcs, like the feedback arc, all the multiverse Ben 10 and stuff, or like the Frogs of War arc, you know, that type of stuff, which I don't really think that counts, because obviously the big episodes are obviously going to be rewatchable, you know. So it really like comes down to when you trim the fat of Omniverse's 80 fucking episodes, what do you have left? And is a lot of those episodes rewatchable? Honestly, I'd probably say no. Like you of course have like your few exceptions, of course. Like I really enjoy rewatching a lot of the episodes that take place on the Gwen's campus, like Mystery and Corporal, in Charm's Way. I think that's also one. There's another one too. I think she has like 3 episodes where they take place on her campus. Like I love all those episodes. I also love the Ballad of Mr. Baumann. I think that's a really nice episode. And there's another episode, From Herodium to Eternity. Like those 5 episodes are like ones I have like on rotation. And if you have the episode in like season 1 of Omniverse where the Gigawatts come back. I forgot what the episode title is. The Gigawatts, they're called the Megawatts. And like that's a really good episode. Other than that, I don't think you can really name a bunch of Ben 10 Omniverse episodes that you're gonna rewatch if it's not one of those big high action stakes episodes like Ben 23, like the Ben 10 crossover 2-parter with all the other multiverse Bens. Like you trim the fat of this series, and like a lot of the episodes are kind of just like you're only rewatching them if you're rewatching the whole series type shit. So I honestly think this is a really interesting take, and would I say it's hot? Probably not, but I think it's really interesting. It's also a good take because, you know, like I said, a lot of like it shows like that have like that type of like rewatchable problem. I think the series as a whole is rewatchable, but on an like if you're just picking a random episode, you probably aren't gonna go to Omniverse to like pick a random episode to watch unless you really enjoy a specific episode. So yeah, good take. That's a thumbs up take, Daily Ben 10. Our next hot take comes from Ramen Retro. I've collabed with Ramen a few times. They make some good content, so shout out to them. Their take is Skurd is pretty cool and overhated. Now, some of my OGs might know I made a video about Skurd a while ago, and I don't really fuck with Skurd like that. So I'm gonna get a bit serious here for a minute. Skurd is everything wrong with Ben 10 gimmicks, right? See, Ben 10 doesn't need gimmicks. Like I've said it before, the ultimates are better when they're given to a villain, and I feel the same way with Skurd, because when you give something like that to Ben, it sort of just muddles the whole thing about the omnitrix, about it being like, you know, uniting the races, showing how, like, to me, I always think saw the omnitrix as a way for like people to, like, aliens to feel represented. There's an episode in there where like Ben turns into Humongousaur and he's getting like his ass beat, so Skurd gets him, blocks his arm. Like, wouldn't you feel fucked up as like a Vaxasaurian? Like, damn, he couldn't get the job done, so he needed fucking Lego bricks to do it. Like, I thought my species was enough. Like, I don't know. Like, Skurd to me, he just doesn't really, I just don't like that. Same thing with the fusions and ultimates. Like, he falls into that category of like weird gimmicks they give Ben, and it just doesn't really suit why. Like, the Omnitrix is enough for Ben to handle situations. He just has to use it correctly. I feel like these gimmicks, like Skurd, have to be sort of like a hurdle he has to overcome. And Skurd just has a character. He's like he's funny sometimes. Like, he has a couple of good one-liners, but he's so nothing to me. Like, and it's kind of sad too, because maybe if they gave him like more time to like be fleshed out, I guess, instead of putting him in the final season of the show to where like his time is kind of limited, it kind of like diminishes how like I can't really get attached to this fucking snot ball, you know. So honestly, this is a hot take. I don't know. I think a lot of people actually like Skurd. I've been seeing some Skurd appreciators recently, so maybe it's not hot, but I think it's a bad take. Skurd is not fucking cool. I do not like Skurd at all. Our next take comes from Ty Rocks 12 Ty. Very confusing at my friend. Their tweet says the cartoony art style kind of takes away the supernatural feel of a world filled with aliens, as they look like they naturally belong now, which I kind of understand with Undertown. I almost said Overtown. Now, for those of you who don't kind of get what he's saying, I think he's kind of saying that Omniverse's new, like, more cartoony, little sillier, you know, more expressive, I want to say, art style that applies to every single person like in the show, not even just like the aliens. Like, they're not just making the aliens look cartoony and goofy, but like sort of like the entire cast. So when you do that to the entire cast, it kind of like comes around and doesn't make the alien designs feel as unique, because everybody kind of looks cartoony, which wasn't always the case with like classic. Like classic, the humans looked like humans, so when you see a fucking alien, it was really disgusting and like, you know, they felt alien. So I kind of like have to agree in some standpoint. Like, I never really thought about it. Like, you know, I think when you are on the 4th series of a show, especially one as long as Ben 10, you're gonna just get used to the fact that, okay, yeah, aliens are now just, you know, a thing that happened here. But I mean, from the standpoint of just like really thinking how this world is progressing, that aliens, while they are becoming more common, they aren't supposed to like really like blend into like the human world, I guess, and types thing. So I kind of have to agree with this thing. I think it's a really good one. Like, Omniverse's art style, I've always been an advocate for. I think it's beautiful. I think it does a lot for the show and the franchise. But when you side by side, like when you see those scenes of like the aliens like next to the humans up on Earth, they do just kind of look like they all belong there. Like you're not really like, what the fuck? Like, you know, it's not really that type of, there's not really that stark contrast between the two races, which I mean, like, there kind of is, because a human's like human, aliens like alien, but it's not that same feel you would get if you seen them next to each other in classic or in UAS. So I gotta agree, this is a really good take, and it might be a hot take. I don't know, because people trash on the Omniverse art style, so I can't really say any art style take that's against it is hot. But it's a good take for sure. I'm gonna get a thumbs up, Ty. Also, y'all fuck with the jacket. Like, I just keep looking at it. This motherfucker, y'all don't fuck with it. All right, next take. Our next take comes from Mega Crash the Hedgehog. I can't see the at. I screenshotted this, pretty fucking weird. Their take says, it's a mad Ben world is a very underrated two-parter. It's not just a Mad Max parody. It's not only very entertaining on its own, but I see it as a great cautionary tale that showcases OV's ability to explore how Ben affects other people and the world around him. My friend, I'm so glad you sent this take in, because I will go down as this two-parter's greatest fan. I fucking love it's a mad Ben world. Like, and then there were Ben and then there were none. Like, that two-parter is peak, right? Obviously peak. And you leave that two-parter wondering, like, man, I really want to see more of these Bens. So this one comes along and not only gives you more from Ben 23, who's like one of the most developed alternate Bens, but it gives you one of the most unique alternate Bens who are evil and Mad Ben. Because like the rest of the other evil Bens, like outside of like Ben Zorro, like they all just look like Ben just, you know, he just had a bad day one day and he decided to go emo or just dye his hair. Like Mad Ben is like low key that nigga. Like honestly, like all of his alien designs are fucking fire. His design is fire. And like the two-parter itself as a whole, like Mega Crash said, OV really uses this episode to really dive into that sort of like mentor type of role that Ben can play, especially like a younger hero. Like they do it a little bit in the Ben 23 episode where like Ben is like on his ass and like, no, you're gonna listen to Asthma type shit. And they kind of just continue that here with Ben sort of mentoring Ben 23 and like the dynamic they have, that older brother, younger brother, that mentor apprentice type role that they're turning Ben into. And I think it really helps Ben's character, because we all know that Ben has been doing this for like a long time. He's an experienced hero, so he is fully equipped with like leading a new generation of heroes. So seeing him coach these younger Ben and just like how they interact is so fire to me. And I know Benton has a fucking weird problem with always making the omnitrix break, but I think this episode does it in a very unique way, so it doesn't feel like, oh, we're doing this again. Like the fact that the omnitrixes break to the point where like they like sync to the next one. So like Ben's omnitrix is transforming him, and Ben's like 23's omnitrix is transforming 10. Like I think that shit is just, that's such like a fun dynamic to give like this two-parter. And just the fact, you know, like a lot of great action scenes. We see a lot of great like alien pairs. Like who would have thought we'd ever see like Raph and Franken striking next to each other, like fight way big. Like that shit is cool as fuck, bro. Like this two-parter is cool as shit. It's like low-key one of my favorites. I think I like it more than the initial multiverse two-parter. But yeah, this is a fucking great take, Mega Crash. So you get a big ass thumbs up. This is a great take. Our next take comes from, how the fuck do you say? Metatudamon says, OV is carried by ideas and hype moments. Most episodes, even big finale / arcs, are usually undercut by the goofy tone. It never feels like there are actual stakes, and characterization is constantly broken for gags. Got our first one of the day. Look, honestly, there are some bits of this tape that I agree with, but I think it's all like through like a really like tight lens. For one, I never understood the whole Omniverse has no stakes argument just because the show decided to be lighter in tone. Like the feedback two-parter, for example, which is like everybody's go-to when they want to like, you know, defend the show. There may not be stakes there, I guess, like, you know, super big stakes, but there is a lot of serious and like emotional value in that arc. The same thing could be said for like the Frogs of War arc, where like they like legitimately like them sending Ben off the planet. That's a dire situation that is not undercut by any goofy moments. Like I don't know what you want me to say. Like unless like you're saying just like, I guess, jokes and just the series in general. But like Omniverse takes itself seriously in those big finale arc moments more times than not. And like the first moment, like OV is carried by hype moments and ideas. First of all, I don't know what the fuck you mean by ideas. Like what do you mean? Hype moments I can kind of see. Because I mean, a lot of like Omniverse like defenders will show you like the cool looking hype moments to show that, oh, your show's cool as fuck. Like I myself am guilty of defending Omniverse and sending like the feedback moment, the two-parter multiverse part, like, you know, the super hype moments. But the show still has those really like low-key emotional value moments that, like, you know, the show is more than just hype moments. Like it has moments of good storytelling. So I don't know, like this take, I don't want to say it's hot because like I don't know, honestly. Well, maybe negative OV takes are hot nowadays. I think OV has had a resurgence. I think this tweet is like really misguided. Is my Omniverse cape showing? Maybe. I do think, like I said, the show does get really praised for those hype moments, and maybe it is carried by that, you know. But to me, I see, you know, if you really go back and watch some of these episodes, like, yes, Omniverse is goofy at like more times than not, but rarely does it ever undercut any like big moment in the show, especially, you know, big finale arcs. Like maybe like in the later parts, like maybe in that like Albedo arc it does, because that arc in general is kind of like a little sloppy. And, you know, but like early Omniverse was appropriately goofy. I will say that this is a good take. I don't agree with it though, and it's also not hot. I've been seeing this still around. I don't think this take is hot, but I actually good now. It's mid take. All right, moving on to the YouTube takes. We got Wing07678 saying the slide display feature of the Omnitrix is worse than the holograms, actually spitting the core like in the previous series. Honestly, I don't think this is a hot take at all. Most people you ask, they do not like the way Omniverse displays its holograms and just how it functions in general. Like I think the holograms and just like the initial, like the way it first started, like the classic way where like it had like the silhouettes of alien forces and the UAS holograms were like, wow, it was perfection. Like that shit was peak. But then when they get to the whole like you hold the face plate and you wait for it to slide, like I don't know, it's like really unconventional to me, and it's kind of like ugly. Like I don't like that at all. I am by like the Omnitrix is my favorite looking Omnitrix, but the way it functions, I never really like, and it's always it's such an awkward like display too. Like I don't know, man. Like just like popping the dial out and then twisting it, or like, you know, just like the fact that like I think the I think the fact that Ben doesn't twist the Omnitrix anymore, all that type of stuff. Like Omniverse's new display, it's like very simple, but it's not effective. Like just holding down the faceplate and then you have to wait for the icon to show up. If you have to wait for the slide icon, like how does it, like that would take fucking forever. Like imagine Ben wants like accelerate, but then he's like all the way in like Lodestar, so you have to like wait for it to cycle all the way over to like they also don't explain how the fuck it works. Like in classic, you know, it made a bit more sense, especially because less aliens, you know, go and cycle through 10, and maybe the same way. Maybe Alien Force, maybe. No, Ultimate Alien probably had the same problem too. Like, oh my, how does he so close to the alien he wants? Maybe it's a mental thing, I guess. But I don't know. I really just don't like the slide display either. This isn't a hot take, but it's a good take. I don't like the slide display either. I genuinely think it's ugly as shit. Our next take comes from Richie Walter. Is that supposed to be like the 5th? The 4th? I'm tweaking. I don't know how to read the Roman numerals. I think this is the 4th. Okay, Richie Walter the 4th. The Ballad of Mr. Baumann is the perfect episode of Ben 10, capturing as much magic as possible from all series, giving us emotional moments, fleshing out a beloved character, classic villain cameo done right, fun transformation scenes, and more. I never hear anyone talk about it, but it's truly one of my favorite episodes in the franchise. I mentioned this episode earlier in the video. I don't think it's a perfect episode of Ben 10. I think it's good by Omniverse standards, and simply because it does capture that classic series magic, like with the whole 11-year-old Ben sections too, and just the fact that, you know, like it's a very solid Ben 10 episode. I like it. You know, we get to see some more Mr. Baumann, who's like a character that you usually like randomly meet, so it's good backstory for him, especially for Omniverse, where he is such a reoccurring character. And, you know, I think a lot of it is really just a tribute to just how classic the episode feels. With young Ben, with Volcanus coming back as well, you know, those little classic series elements that are injected into this episode, especially in like the later half too, where we go back to 16-year-old Ben, and then he uses like Eye Guy to fight Volcanus. Like, that type of shit is like, it's really invoking a really classic feel here. So I feel like that's why some people may really like this episode, and I like it too. I think it's one of those episodes that I would deem like pretty rewatchable whenever I watch the show. It's not like one I dread to go back to, but calling it perfect, I wouldn't say it's perfect, but it definitely has that strong, like, you know, classic vibe. You know, a lot of, like I said, magical. Like, it has that type of magic too, especially like with Mr. Baumann and his girlfriend. You know, depending on how much you care about that character, then any emotion can come in. But other than that, it's a solid episode, I would say. You know, the Ballad of Mr. Baumann, it's a solid episode for Omniverse. One of the better ones in the later part of the Omniverse's lifespan too. So yeah, this is a good take. Our next take comes from Danny Phantom 3090. Speaking of Danny Phantom, I might make a Danny Phantom video soon. You know, let me know if y'all want that. Y'all probably don't throw away that Teen Titans video flop like a motherfucker. Give it a watch if you haven't already, please. But Danny Phantom's take: Whampire and Gravattack are underrated, and the 11-year-old Ben flashback should have ended with Ben taking off the Omnitrix. Now, this is a bit of a, this is like the only time I'm ever gonna do like one of these 2-in-1 takes, because I think both of these takes are pretty interesting to talk about. I'm gonna keep it brief though. One, I don't think Whampire is underrated. I don't really like I don't really like Whampire at all. I don't know many people who do. I mean, the whole mind control power, I guess, is cool. His design is really cool. I really like that. But I don't know. I just don't really find myself attached. Like Whampire, like he's such a nothing alien in me. I don't know. And like the later half of like Ben 10 tries to convince you that he's really fucking cool. Like he shows up a bit. He's like the primary dude who uses a lot of like those Skurd fusions and shit. Gravattack, on the other hand, though, I think is not underrated. I think everybody loves Gravattack. Gravattack is like one of Omniverse's like most beloved like aliens, next to Feedback, of course. I don't know anybody who dislikes Gravattack. And as for your other take, the 11-year-old Ben flashback should have ended with Ben taking off the Omnitrix. I would have liked that if the 11-year-old flashbacks had any sort of like timeline to them. Like they sort of just happen. Like they're not placed here to like build a progressive story. Like it would have been neat if they had their own arc where that happened. Maybe I think that might have been cool. But like the 11-year-old flashbacks are sort of just like random. Like you'll get one episode and then they'll be gone for like the next 30. Well, I think that would have been cool as fuck to have that sort of like little arc with the flashbacks so they build up to something for like a final episode or just something in that final season. It's just hard to say that should have happened. I would have liked it to. I don't know. I like the flashbacks. I don't know how people feel about them. I personally really like them. I like the whole 11-year-old Ben stuff, but I wish they were given more of a purpose instead of just like being there just to market Omniverse as like that. Whoa, we're classic again with some modern, you know, like I don't know. I like what they are. I just don't think. I just wish they had more of a purpose. This is honestly a weird. This is a weird one. I can't say this take is bad or good or hot even. Maybe the first one is hot for both reasons, because I think Whampire isn't underrated. He fucking sucks. So that's a hot take. The second one is just like a take. It's a take I agree with. I like that take. You know, I'm gonna stop being a dick. Thumbs up, man. Our next take comes from 25th Supreme, and they say Feedback is overrated. His story with malware is the reason he is regarded so high in the fandom. Otherwise, he would be the average 10th electric alien Ben has. Now, I've been seeing a lot of feedback hate surge, make its way up the ranks in the fandom. I've seen people saying, he's not that cool because, they're trying to make him cool on purpose. Or you just that, the two-parter isn't that good. Feedback is just lame as fuck, all this type of stuff. And my personal opinion is I like feedback and I love the two-parter he's involved in. I really do. It's my favorite episode in the entire franchise. But honestly, I do think like OV definitely tries to really like make you like feedback. Like they give him his own theme song. I noticed that like every time Ben uses him, the nigga like never loses a fight. Like there's like maybe like 1 or 2 times I can recall where Ben uses feedback and he loses or gets like hit. Like they make you like this, like they make this nigga cool on purpose and it shows. Which for some people could come off as like really forced and like just you kind of rock with. But to me, they do a good job even if it is forced. So that's why I like him personally. I don't want to say he's my favorite alien. Maybe now, feedback gets I think it's probably just a part of just him being part of that two-parter, which, you can't really hold that against him. He's part of like the peak of Omniverse essentially. So of course people are gonna fucking love this alien. So, and saying he would be the average electric alien, feedback's powers are pretty unique from all the other ones. Just being the fact like he absorbs it and then he shoots it back. Like the rest of his electric aliens are just electric aliens, you have like Brainstorm who has super smarts on top of it and all the other shit that a fucking amphibian can do. I feel like out of his electric alien playlist, feedback is still one of the more unique aliens in there, so he wouldn't just be an average electric alien. Him being overrated, you can kind of see now. I personally wouldn't say he's overrated. Like I said, I think he has a lot of like real reason to actually, I think he earns his spot. I think he's earned a lot of the praise he's been given, considering he's like the catalyst for that amazing arc. And like, he's cool. Like he's cool on purpose, but I don't know. Like it works for me. It's a good take, honestly. I really do like this take. It's an interesting take, and it's one that I've been seeing a lot. So I would call it a good take, and I would also call it a hot take too. So next take we have Shroud Cover 9515 says Walkatrout, Molestache, and the Worst were good additions to the Omnitrix because it diversifies his playlist because it encompasses the show's world building and his transformations are heroes no matter the species. I love this take. This is a fantastic take, and unfortunately it might be a hot take. I've seen a lot of people, I remember seeing a lot of people like low-key try to argue that these type of aliens being in the Omnitrix doesn't make sense. Like they shouldn't be there. And like, one, that's crazy to say. Like, I don't know if you guys remember, but the Omnitrix is not a weapon. So there being alien DNA, alien species in the Omnitrix that aren't suited for combat is completely acceptable. Because for one, if you really think about it, none of the species are really meant for combat purposes. Ben just uses their natural like abilities for combat. Like, if you think about it that way. But obviously, most people don't. So, when they see Walkatrout or Molestache at first, or the Worst, and they don't have many powers, of course, people are like, why are they even in Omnitrix? They're just filler. The whole purpose of the Omnitrix is to store DNA and, like, let people walk a mile in the shoes of other aliens. It's not meant to be a weapon. Asmund says it, bro. He ain't make a weapon. Y'all made it a weapon.
I didn't create a weapon. All of you did. I created the ultimate device for understanding all the beings of the universe.
I always dislike that piece of like criticism towards some of these aliens and the Omnitrix in general. Like, I might make that his own separate video. Like, low-key, I know I went into it a bit in one of my older videos. I think I might dive into that topic a little more. This is a fantastic take. I really do like this take because like I just don't know how niggas be missing the point, bro. Like the Omnitrix is not a weapon. So Walkatrout being it's not that big of a deal to me. I like that they're in there, because like you said, the Shroud, it encompasses the fact of like the Omnitrix's purpose essentially just being that, letting people walk a mile in other alien shoes. This is a good take, fantastic take, and it's okay a hot take too. So W take, Shroud, you get a thumbs up, man. Our next take comes from Guy That Exists 1135. They say, while he has episodes where he's downright intolerable, I think Ben is at his best in Omniverse. For the most part, he balances the ego and humbleness, though I wish he was written a lot more consistently like an adult in the past. The Skurd episode where he's genuinely bored and acts like more of a mentor of sorts. Yes, I agree with this take heartily. So many people try to tell me that Omniverse Ben is super goofy and all this type of shit, like, oh, he's the worst Ben, yada yada. I think people just get it confused because like he doesn't show any real like growth, I could say. Like in classic, like he has his moments of like maturity throughout many of his moments of just being an asshole. So it's kind of seen as character growth. Or like in Alien Force, where he comes off as very mature, and season 3 makes him super goofy, you know, while it's not growth, but his character is changing. Ben in Omniverse is like a plateau. Like he is the same character throughout. Like sometimes he'll be super egotistical and just like an ass, but sometimes he'll be written really well, and like, you know, that Ben we all like. So I definitely think like, I definitely like this take. And I do wish he was with him more like he was like in a Jolt in the past, where he was kind of like mentoring Rook, or kind of like just showing him the ropes of like being that type of hero. And like I said earlier, with like the like Ben 23, really like that too, where like Ben is a seasoned like veteran. Like some of these things he does in Omniverse, he doesn't really like have to, he shouldn't struggle with. So that type of shit can get annoying. And also some of the times where he is just like a dick, you know, like, oh, I've saved the world, like that whole mantra he'll do, or like that type of shit. So I definitely like this take, and I definitely agree with it wholeheartedly. I think Ben is pretty consistent in Omniverse. It really just depends. Like, are you gonna get the Ben where he's like super, like is he gonna be super one way, or is he just gonna be in the middle for an episode? I feel like that's a lot better than like him randomly being all calm and collected, mature in the first 2 seasons of the show. Then the next one, he's a completely fucking asshole who like doesn't like, you know, I much prefer the middle, and then he'll stray maybe than all the other shit the other shows do. So good take. Hot take also too, because people act like OV Ben is like the worst thing to ever grace the earth, bro. Our final take comes from Chili_Bear12, and they simply say the designs are the best out of the whole series. Now, what type of Omniverse video would this be if I don't talk about the designs as a whole? There's also another hot take I had in here. Comes from Yasser. Says the trio looks 1,000, that's a big ass number, 10 million times better than in the OV art style, especially Ben and Gwen. So I'm gonna just like merge these two since they both talk about designs. I like half agree, because I think the designs that Omniverse has, when they look good, yes, are some of the best in the series. I went on record to say that Omniverse Ben I prefer more than Alien Force Ben by like a pretty long mile. I think that's his best look in the franchise. Omniverse Ben with the cargo pants and the black and green t-shirt. But then you get designs like fucking Big Chill. Like a Big Chill like design like is not the worst, but like what the fuck are you doing, Omniverse? Like, come on. You also have your designs like, you know, like that final Chroma Stone design where he has the fucking underwear where they randomly change it. Like, why? That shit is ugly, bro. Or Humongousaur putting on like fucking underwear. Like, come on, bro. What are we doing here? Like, those designs are awful. Like, I don't like that. Like, Omniverse has that, like, when it hits, it hits. But when it misses, it misses. And that's like the whole, like, that's like the analogy I can give for like its designs. Like, when they hit on a design, they fucking hit. But when they miss so fucking bad, bro. And it can suck. Like they saved Jury Rig. Jury Rig's design was off when UAF. His Omniverse design is one of the best designs for an alien, I think, in my opinion, especially coming off of what he used to look like. And then you'll get like I said, Chroma. So like that Chroma Stone design is just that's just irredeemable. Like, what made y'all do that? What made y'all do that? He looked perfectly fine. Y'all showed him before he looked perfectly fine, and then y'all changed him. Why'd y'all do that? And then like you have like I know people don't like the Gwen design. I personally don't mind it that much, but like compared to her like her first design to show in her like her UAV design, like yeah. Like, it's not the best design, but I personally don't hate it as much as people do, but I can see why people dislike it. But then you have Kevin's design. Like, I think Kevin's design is fire. Like, Kevin's design is really cool. Like, they give him a lot of extra shit, you know, like the ripped shirt with the long sleeves with the stripes on them. But they work for his character. Like, it may be a little over the top for some people, but I think it works. So, best designs in the whole series? Probably not, because they have a lot of stinkers. Some of the designs are really good. So, it's definitely a hot take. I don't think anybody, I wouldn't say that, but most people definitely don't like majority of Omniverse designs for many reasons. So, definitely a hot take. And is it good? No, it's mid. Like I said, I'm very split on it. Like I said, Omniverse had some bangers. Then there's a lot of misses. You can name probably a bunch of the misses, like I just did. So yeah, hot take, mid. It's hot. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like on it. You know, comment down below which takes did you agree with, which take did you dislike. Let me know some of your own hot takes down below about Omniverse. You know, I'm gonna be reading them. You know, I love to read the comments. You know, consider becoming a member to support the channel more directly, but you don't have to. Like I said, just like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. You know, and then it's been your boy Dan, the boy Wonder, signing out. Peace.